Hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Come to you today for Tag Tuesday, and I got a tag from Steve Donahue here that he tagged everybody on. And he did this one, I can't remember if it was a week or 2 weeks ago, but I've seen a couple people doing this. I watched Steve's and I watched Jason from Byways in Bookland, and this is the Knick Knack tag. And I was going to start this at home, however, I thought that maybe my home away from home might be the best place to start. You see, my wife is a aspiring minimalist, and so we don't have a ton of knickknacks sitting around the house. All of my knickknacks are actually boxed up in different places in the storage room because she's a bit of a minimalist and tries to declutter everything. I keep telling her not to do that, but yeah, anyway. So I decided to do this video in my home away from home. So I am, during the school year, I am at school from about 6 a.m. to 6 to 6:30 p.m. and maybe even later on game days, but at least about a 12-hour span every day. So it's like my home away from home, and I've got knickknacks throughout the room. Different various things that kids have given me or I've picked up along the way, or maybe my wife and my kids have given me. And so I wanted to show off a few of those items. So I want to start off with, let's do a couple of the off-camera things, and then I'll get to some of the items up on the shelf. Some of my favorite items. One of them I picked up last year after my wife's grandfather passed away, and this was his, is this bald eagle. It's a wood carving, and you know, I teach American history, and of course this is the national symbol, the old bald eagle, and I look at that like it symbolizes freedom and everything America stands for. So I wanted that in my classroom. I'd keep it at home, but like I said, my wife's a minimalist, and so she looked at me cross-eyed when I wanted it. But anyway, I got it for here in my classroom. I have it a lot of times sitting right on the smack middle of my desk, and the kids love it. And they even were attempting to name it last year, except for we ran out of time because of the pandemic hit. But I'm sure that this year we'll probably come up with a name for him. But he sits up on the shelf right now and overlooks the class every day. So I thought that was pretty cool wood carving there. Another wood carving that I have in my classroom, this one was given to me by my mother, and this is a wooden cannon. And of course I teach early American history, so this goes right with what I teach in class, and it never fails. My kids every year ask me, does that thing really fire? I'm like, seriously? It's always, you have to remember I teach middle school, so they come in kind of naive sometimes, but we always have fun with that. But there's my cannon that I have in my room. Now, every once in a while we get some of our kids, their parents are in the military, and so I always try to honor that if I have them come in and speak to the class, that kind of stuff, if that's possible. I've had a former student from right here at school. He was stationed in Iraq, and this was a while back, but his cousins were in class, and so we did Skype at the time. We did Skyping, and he was in Iraq, and we were Skyping with him in class, and we were able to do that. And we've had one mom who was stationed overseas. She came back and talked to us about stuff in the Middle East, and she brought back and presented to the class a flag. And then what was really neat is the kids really thought that was pretty cool, and so they went out to shop class, and in shop class they created the flag case for it. And so that was kind of a neat project, so I always hang this up. And I have another one of these that one of my best friends from high school, he went into the military. He's been in for 20 years now, and it flew over Iraq and he's got like the certificate that said this flew over the fort and all this kind of stuff. And so I have that one. I put that one away. I kind of rotate them, and I put that one away, and I gotta find it, honestly, or maybe it's at home. It might be at home. I think it is at home. It's in the upper room at home. But anyway, it's got a little metal plate telling a little bit about where it was from, and maybe I'll show that one a little bit later. Another neat thing that we've got here at school is our art teacher likes to honor our veterans, and one of the things she has done in the past for Veterans Day, and one of her projects is she has taken the veterans, and she has the kids study their story, and then she takes these gigantic rocks, paints them, and then does I'm thinking this is like a decoupage type stuff, but it's kind of a memorial to them, and it's really neat, and they're all individual and everything. And I've got, what do I got, 4 or 5 of them here in the room, and this is just one example, but those are always really neat. And they always offer a chance for kids to ask questions, and they go well with our units that we do over World War I and World War II. So back here on the shelf are some more knickknacks that I've got. This is from my daughter's art class. Or no, this one's not from my daughter's art class. Excuse me. This was from a student. My daughter's got one at home. But they make donuts, and then they glaze them, and they look very, very real. They even do a bite out of them, or what looks like a bite anyway. And I'll show you my daughter's later, but this is one that a student gave me, and because I'd made the comment, you did a really good job, and so they presented it to me. This is something else that I got from a student. This jar right here has, if you see down here, it's got volcanic ash. Their grandparents were cleaning out I think it was the attic, and they had volcanic ash from Mount St. Helens. How cool is that? So when we talk about volcanoes and their effect on the environment and just the geography and that kind of stuff, I always bring this out so they can see what actual volcanic ash looks like. So I thought that's always kind of a neat knick-knack to have around the room that causes lots of discussion. So here's another one that doesn't, I always bring it out at Thanksgiving time when we're doing the pilgrim. Well, I'll be bringing it out here soon for the pilgrims, and then I bring it back out again at Thanksgiving. And it's just a little turkey. I got it from the store, just a little cheap Hobby Lobby item. I kind of like it. We've got the school fight song. They gave these to us as gifts one year, and that was kind of neat. And then my wife has gotten me things over the years that were kind of neat for my classroom. Little signs I like to hang up. My kids got me for Father's Day this little bear. I don't know why I've kept the tags on. I've had this thing for probably, I bet 10 years and still haven't taken the tags off. I have now, though. Anyway, that's my little bear. He's been in my classroom and looked out over the kids for several years, and I love it. That was from Crimson one year. And then she got me this other one another year, this Mizzou basketball, because I like Mizzou, University of Missouri. And it opens up, and there's a little bear in there. So that was another Father's Day gift. So they sit in my classroom. Now, my wife's grandfather and grandmother, they were world travelers. They did a lot of the tours. They took older people on those group tours, and so they got to see the world. They went to Russia, China, just everywhere. Middle East. They got to go to Israel and Jerusalem and that kind of stuff. And one of the places they got to go was South America. And so we got this little doll, this little deal they bought. It says Rio de Janeiro, Brazil on it. And I know in the same trip they had told me they went to Machu Picchu and up in the Andes. They also when they went to Russia, they went to, these are really neat. When they went to Russia, they picked up these nesting dolls. And of course, we've got Lenin, we've got Stalin and Brezhnev, and we got Mikhail Gorbachev, and then Boris Yeltsin. And so those are pretty cool. That was another thing. He gave me those when he was cleaning some stuff out, and asked me if I would want those, and I said definitely. That was kind of neat, and the kids like seeing stuff like that all around the room. One of the other neat things that we get as teachers every once in a while are those little personalized gifts that kids give you. And I don't know if you can read it on there, but it says Mr. Ruttenberg. But you know, they leave messages. This one, they left messages in there. They're kind of personal messages that they've left to me on you know, just different ways that I've helped them in various ways, and so you know, these are little treasures to me, and I hope at the end of my career I can look back and see things like this and know that it was all worth it. And so these are the knickknacks from my home away from home. I hope you're enjoying this. We'll go back to the house, and we will look at some more knickknacks at home that I have put away where my wife hasn't got to them yet. So I'll catch you in a minute, BookTube. Well, hiya, BookTube. I'm back here at the house for the rest of this knickknack tag. And so I went, and remember, my wife is a minimalist. Keep that in mind. So this stuff is not in the downstairs part of the house. It is, all these knickknacks that I found are all in the upper room upstairs, pretty much sitting up on top of bookshelves, or I had to dig them out of a box. But I thought maybe you'd enjoy seeing them, so here we go. So the first one that I've got, this one's actually a usable knickknack. You guys that have followed the channel know that I coach several sports. I've always coached a lot of sports. I enjoy that interaction with the kids, and it was something I always wanted to do, just because sports, you know, meant so much to me in my life and got me through so many, you know, just trying times in my life. So the next knickknack that I'm gonna give you is my whistle. Now, my older brother got this for me when I first started teaching. This was my gift from him when I got my first teaching job. And you'll notice, see if I can get it on there, the WRR, William Ryan Ruttenberg. So it's got my initials on there, and you'll notice it's had quite a bit of use. There's some bite marks, and not to be gross, but honestly, it probably needs washed up and cleaned. But this is the one that I use every day in practice for football and basketball, and it's had plenty of use over the years. You can see the silver coming off of the outside there, and I know it doesn't seem like much, but this means a lot to me because my brother knew what coaching meant to me, and how important sports were to me. So there's a usable knickknack. Here's a couple of pieces that were made by my daughter in art class throughout the years, and actually these two sit on the shelves downstairs. This first one's a pot that she made, and it looks like April 15th of 2014, and it's got a little holding area there, and it has been used throughout the years in various parts of the house, and right now it sits in the living room on a shelf. And this is held anywhere from paper clips to erasers to I don't know, just various small things. And so I always like that. And then I showed you a donut, a literal glazed donut there earlier from a student, and this is one that my daughter made. And it looks pretty realistic, and it was actually quite funny because the other day my wife had these, she was moving shelves around in the house, and so she had taken the stuff off the shelf, and my 3-year-old had grabbed this, and it fooled her. She thought it was they're pretty realistic, and so she was trying to put her mouth where the bite marks are, and that led to quite the funny little conversation. Also, this one's on the desk downstairs. So my wife loved art when she was in school. Art got her through a lot of stuff, and we had a local artist here around our area, and he'd do different pieces. And this was a whale that he made for her when she was little, and you can see her name engraved there, Amber 1984. So this is a long time ago, but it's not just a whale carving. It also is a crayon holder or a pencil holder if you want to use it for that. And so over the years, this thing's gotten a lot of use. It sits on the shelf and just reminds my wife of her childhood here in our small town. All right, so let's go with this next one. My father-in-law, when we moved back from Missouri, and he had a gas station, a filling station for quite a while, since my wife was real little, and he had bought a filling station here in town, and he ran it till he retired just a couple years ago. And so since he had that, he would always get these die-cast Texaco trucks, and you'd have this one, and we got several others upstairs, but Texaco had put out these little collectibles, and so these are nice little knickknacks. And when he closed the filling station, we ended up getting several of these, and they're just collector banks, die-cast metal collector banks. But I thought they were neat, and so I wanted to get a couple of them, and so we got a couple of these sitting on the shelves upstairs. Thought those were pretty cool. I told you I had another flag. I found it. It was upstairs. And this one, actually, this is from my buddy Richard, and it flew over Taji, T-A-J-I, Iraq on September 11th, 2007. And he took a lot of pride in being able to get that flag from the fort. That was when he was stationed there, because he had a couple tours in Iraq, or did he have? He may even had 3 tours. I can't remember. He did several tours while he was in Iraq, or while he's in the military. He's still in the military. He's been in there for 20 years, and he's got to go all over the world. So, he's been to Iraq, he's been to Korea, Hawaii, he's been to different countries in Europe. He's just been everywhere. It's been a really neat thing for him. One of the other things that he picked up, and this is a little bit dusty, so I'm going to wipe it off here. A little bit dusty, but while he was in Korea, he got a pair of these little swords, and I don't know what they're called, and they are engraved and everything. They got a little engraving there. They're pretty cool. They're not sharpened or anything, but I'm guessing they're just a collector's item. I don't know how much value there is, but they're pretty cool. They're a pretty cool little piece, a conversation piece. And so we got 2 of those sitting here on this little holder. And here's the other one. And the other one's, wipe it off. The other one's just a little bit shorter. So that's kind of cool. And it's got a material here around the handle so that you can grip it. But it's got a dragon on there. I don't know if you'll be able to make that out or not. There's a dragon engraved on there. It's pretty cool. Got that in the house. But that's not something that can stay downstairs. It has to stay upstairs in my book room, up on the top of the bookshelves. But those are some knickknacks that I have accumulated from my buddy who's in the military. When I first started teaching, I got a job coaching middle school football. And our team that we had, we had some pretty good players on our team. They would eventually, after I left and came up north to Iowa, they eventually went on to high school and played in several state tournaments, or not tournaments, but played in the state playoffs. Played in the state playoffs in Missouri football, 1A football. And so before I left, we had a really good time together. Oh no, it's going to come apart. Here we go. And one of the things that sits up on my shelf, they as a gift, a departing gift, they all got me a football and signed it. And so there's different names on there. And those boys were a lot of fun to coach. We we had some really good times. We had some good athletes and had a lot of laughs in those couple years that I was there, and made some good, good connections with kids. So here's the last two items on my my Knick Knack extravaganza here. So you guys all know that I absolutely love baseball. Baseball's my passion. I like my other sports too, don't get me wrong, but baseball's the one that's always been, it's always touched my heart. So over the years, I've collected Nolan Ryan baseball cards. I've got, let's just say, a lot, more than the average Joe, and I've got some that have a little bit of value, and some that don't, but I've got quite the collection. And so with my collection over the years, I've picked up some stuff at auctions that are little knickknacks. And this is Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters commemorative game tickets. So you take this, you open it up, and all 7 of the no-hitters, let me get it going the right way here, all 7 of the no-hitters that he had, these are game tickets from those games. Now, obviously, they're commemorative, so this is not actually what the game tickets looked like, but, well, actually, that might be what they look like. But they're pretty cool, and they got a little bit of on the back side, they've got a history of those games. And I always liked this. I thought it was neat. It's a little bit, it's something you got to kind of keep in a box for the most part, because it's a little bit not gaudy, big. It's kind of hard to display. And so this was something I picked up when they go into Cooperstown. They create these at the museum. They have these postcards made, and they look like the plaque that they have on the wall at Cooperstown. That's a place I haven't been to that I'd really like to go to. But if you pull this out, it was stamped on induction day when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I think that's really cool. That is really cool. And then the last item on here is one, some ball players will sign free autographs. I didn't know about Nolan Ryan, so one of the things that I did was I sent some ball cards in one time just to see if he would sign them, because Nolan Ryan was the first guy that I started following when I was like 8 years old, and baseball was kind of the thing that got me through foster care and stuff like that. It was my rock, so to speak, and he was my first favorite player, and he's always been my favorite player. And so we sent in a couple of my cards to see if he'd sign them. Well, he charges for signing, and he sent back a note saying how much he charges for everything, which I kind of get that. His signature's worth some money. But what was kind of cool is he sent me back this little picture card that he went ahead and signed. He didn't sign the cards, but he did sign that picture card. So I do have something with his. Sorry, this is a little dirty up here, the plastic holder. I need to get that cleaned off. But that is his signature right there. I have no idea if this has any value or not, but it was a really cool keepsake, so I truly appreciated that. But anyway, this has been my Knick Knack tag, and I'll put the link to Steve's video and Jason Harrigan's video down in the description below, because those are the two I watched and gave me the idea that I could probably do this. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it didn't get too long. But anyway, BookTube, I will see you later. Have a great day.